My dear Patterns of Possibility listeners, I want to let you know that I really do appreciate you listening to this podcast. Your listenership means a lot to me. And this podcast is my sincere gift to you. And maybe you'd like to take action on reciprocating this gift. If you would, I'll mention a few things that are pretty helpful to me in the creation of this podcast. One thing that you could do is rate and review this podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Make sure to give it 5 stars. And if you're listening on YouTube, please like and subscribe. It helps a lot. Also, another thing that you can do to support my efforts is to sign up at my email list at Patterns of Possibility. When you sign up, you'll receive actionable steps to making meaningful connections. We talk about everything from people pleasing to ghosting, socializing do's and don'ts, compliments, one-sided friendships, and everything in between. So if you'd like support on making more meaningful connections with your friends and family or businesses and coworkers, sign up. Another thing that you could do is follow me on social media. I'm looking at TikTok in particular because I'm there all of the time. I'm on the road to reach 10,000 followers so that I can live stream some of my workshops. It'd be really helpful, and it would help me bring these opportunities to you for free. The last thing that I can recommend that you do is if you like this podcast and you know of someone who might enjoy it, please share it with that person. Share it with a friend. It really does go a long way. With that said, once again, your listenership means a whole lot to me. Thank you so much for your support. Do you want meaningful relationships in 2024? Then become the best version of yourself at the Love Yourself First 3-day conference. This virtual event is happening February 9th, 10th, and 11th. We are going to show you powerful self-love techniques to set boundaries, leave toxic relationships, make new friends, and much, much more. This year, start making meaningful relationships that will last a lifetime. Love yourself first. Go to Patterns of Possibility /events to get your tickets now. Hey, what's going on? My name is Coach Lee Hopkins. My pronouns are he, him, his, and you're listening to the Patterns of Possibility podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to helping you replace harmful patterns with new possibilities. In each episode, we'll explore topics that inspire you to be yourself, live your truth, and make lasting connections. In this episode, we're going to talk about small talk and big talk. You know, how to move from those boring, silly, uninterested, tiring topics to something that's really important and interesting and fun to you so that you can make a real connection. I want to let you know that there is a purpose for small talk. There's a reason we have it. And most of us have difficulty moving from this small talk, hello, hey, how are you, to something that's more deep and meaningful to us. And I want to talk about some of the common mistakes that happen from moving small talk to big talk and what you can do to make it a lot smoother for you and the people that you're talking to. Are you ready? Let's go. Okay, raise your hand if you like small talk. I can see you. I'm looking at you. I can see you right through this podcast. Okay, I bet many people's hand didn't raise. You probably didn't raise your hand because most people don't like small talk. It's boring. It's not interesting. We do it just because. That's why we avoid mixers. That's why we avoid going out to meet people, because we have to engage in that small talk. Who cares about the weather? Am I right? It's so hot. It's so cold. Oh my God, I don't like it. That's how small talk is. It's so, that's the best word in my vocabulary to describe it. So we want to avoid small talk. We want to take more meaningful steps. We want to get towards the deeper, more meaningful conversations. And I want to tell you, here today that it's very, very difficult to move from small talk to bigger talk with deeper, more authentic conversations if we don't at least dabble in the small talk. The key is that we want to build this bridge from having small, boring conversations about topics that are just uninteresting. They're not exciting to us. We just talk about them because everybody is talking about them. We want to move from that towards the bigger, more exciting conversations that relate to me as a person. What am I doing in my life? What are my experiences? What's important and interesting and fun to me? That's the difficulty from moving from small talk to big talk. Because when we start moving towards this bigger, more authentic conversations, talking about us, talking about me, talking about my own personal experiences, we're unsure. Is it too much? Is it too personal? Is it boring? Will they like it? Am I interesting? What if they don't like it? What if they don't like me? What if I open up and they reject me? I don't know what to do. So we just kind of hang out there in that small talk. We stay right there. We're talking about the weather because we all don't like the weather, man. I live in Chicago and it was really in the 40s. It was warm. It was in the 40s in December. And all of a sudden now it's like below 13 degrees. What? That's a conversation topic. We can all get outraged at the weather. We can all have some feelings about the weather, right? And it's okay for people to have feelings about something that's not me. It's okay for us to talk about politics. It's okay for us to talk about something that is not related directly to me and express something that is negative or doesn't feel good. I don't like the weather. I don't like the politics. I don't like how things are going. Rent is too damn high. Those things, those are small talk and it feels uncomfortable. But yet, we're not saying anything negative about you as a person. So we stay in small talk because we're afraid to open up. That's the key. We're afraid to open up and talk about those big, important, and interesting things that are happening in our life. What I want to submit to you is this idea that it's very important that we close that gap. We need small talk to make sure that we're able to, understand each other. We're at a level, we're level set with each other. We don't want to stay in small talk too long. We want to be able to move to big talk. And big talk is something like talking about your hopes and your dreams, the things that are really exciting and fun, your hobbies. We want to be able to talk about those things without fear of being judged. We want to talk about the life experiences that we've had with others. We want to share it with this person that we're talking to right now to see if they can understand and relate and connect to that experience. That's big talk. That's big talk. Some of us, though, mistake this big talk for sharing the deeper, more painful things that have happened to us right away. We talk about how we were in a bad situation with a partner. We talk about how we were hurt and neglected by our parents. We talk about those things that really shaped our life, but in a not so positive way. And I want to caution you here about doing that. I want to caution you because, stay with me with this analogy. I want to put an analogy out there. We're all carrying something. We're all carrying something heavy. We're all carrying something light. We just have life experiences. That's what I mean when I say we're all carrying something. So we're taking our experiences and we're sharing them with other people. And these experiences, if you could imagine them as weight plates. So if you've ever been working out, if you've ever been to the gym, you would see that there are some plates that have specific weights on them. Like They're 2.5 pounds, 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 25 pounds, 35, up to 50. We'll go up to 50, 45, 50. All right. Those are to be the plates. And the heavier the plate that you're carrying, and you're just carrying it because it's your life and your experience, and you've lived through it. So you automatically just get it. You're awarded with it. So you have these heavy things, and you go around carrying them all the time. All these weights, the 25 pound, the 2.5 pound, the 45 pound weight, you're carrying all of them. Just imagine them stacked up. And you're carrying them. And when you have a conversation with someone, you hand them one of these weights. You just pick it up and you give it to them, right? If it's lighter, more joyful, more fun, you're going to hand them something that is 2.5 pounds. Here's a 2.5 pound plate. I'm sharing it with you. And they're willing to accept it. Most people are willing to accept something fun like that. It's like, oh, it's not a big deal, because keep in mind that they're also carrying their own set of plates. It's not heavy. It's light. It's fun. And then what they do in turn is they have their own stack of weights or stack of plates that they're carrying, and they take one off that is equal and they share it with you. Here's the 2.5 pound. Here's a fun life experience that I've also had that I can also relate to. Hooray. You feel a little connected right there. You feel connected because you've shared something that was light and easy, and they shared something with you that was light and easy. So it's like an equal exchange. Now, when we come to this big talk, a lot of us are looking to throw off that 45 pound weight, that 50 pound weight. We're just trying to get it off our stack, and we're saying, man, this is heavy. This is really deep, and it's important to me, and it's weighing on me, and it's so powerful and impactful. It has changed my life in some way. I just got to tell anybody, you know what? Forget about the weather. I just want to go straight into throwing this 45 pound weight at you. And you go ahead and you throw it at them. A lot of people, I'm going to say me. When that happens, I'm going to run. I've got my own stuff. Don't you see that I'm carrying my own weight? I'm not prepared for that. I don't want that. But a lot of us believe that's what big talk is. The bigger, the heavier, the more impactful things that have happened in our life, I'm going to share with you right away. Because I'm going to move this conversation from talking about the weather to talking about something that's important to me. I need somebody to know who I really am. That's a really easy way to scare off somebody. It's a really easy way to scare off somebody because everybody, once again, has their own set of weights. They have their own things that they're carrying around, and they don't want yours. And I'm going to tell you this is a bonus. If you run into somebody who is happy, who's more than happy to take that weight off your shoulder, caution. Caution, caution, caution. Because like I said, everybody has their own weights. Everybody has their own life experiences. Everyone has their own things, trials and tribulations that they're carrying. And if they're happy to take your 45 pound weight off of you without knowing anything else about you, without asking for anything in return, I want to let you know. I want you to observe, rather. I want you to observe, because I observed this. These people don't want you to be successful. These people thrive on having you dump your painful, sad frustrations on top of them so they can feel useful, because they're used to doing that. You're going to develop a dynamic. You're going to develop a dynamic in which you're always going to them for something that is painful and frustrating to you. And when you start to get better and you start to heal, the person that you have shared your painful dynamic with won't be able to support you. They won't be able to support you because they don't know what else to do. They've only been here to carry your heavy stuff around. I guarantee that they are going to be the kind of person who is not supportive of you because they don't know what else to do. When you are having joy and happiness and excitement, they don't know what else to do. They've always been the caretaker. I want you to avoid creating relationships with people like that. So the bridge, to bring it all back to full circle, to bridge the conversation from small talk to big talk, you want to be intentional about sharing fun, interesting, exciting things about you. Because small talk is talking about things that are uninteresting, unimportant. They're boring. They're things that you think everyone wants to talk about. Sure, start off the conversation with that, but then move into something that's important and interesting to you and make sure that it's joyful. You're sharing your 2.5-pound weight, not a 45-pound weight. You're not dropping something heavy on them. You're sharing something light and fun and seeing how they reciprocate. So if you don't know what's interesting and joyful and fun to you, then it's your turn to do the work. If you don't want to live in small talk, you have to start talking about yourself. I have a free workbook called Making Meaningful Connections that is absolutely free. If you don't know what to talk about, there are 50 questions to help you understand more about who you are, the kind of questions you should be asking yourself so that you can share with others. These are things you need to know about yourself so that you can share with others. It's a very comprehensive guide and it's absolutely free. 50 full questions and even ways to start conversations. So if you want access to that, just feel free to go to link in my bio and download your copy. It's absolutely free because I want you to make those meaningful connections. I'll be right back with the answer Reddit question. Are you tired of being around people who just don't get you? Have you been putting yourself out there but not able to find anybody that matches your vibe? You're not alone. Making friends, especially as an adult, is hard. My name's Coach Lee. I'm a social connections coach, and I want to help you find your tribe. I have a 3-step coaching program for groups and individuals that's designed to help you get to the right place, to meet the right people, to have the right kind of conversations that leave you feeling fulfilled, appreciated, and understood. After going through the Find Your Tribe coaching program, you'll discover who it is that you really want to be connected to, how to find those people, and what you need to talk about so that your relationship moves from an acquaintanceship to a close friendship. And with this program, you won't be on this journey alone. You'll have access to a private community in which there are others who are just as intentional about making the kind of connections you are. You'll also have access to live events like weekly Q&As, speed friending, and much more. You'll be able to practice your skills in a safe environment and feel confident to connect authentically when you get out into the real world. If you're ready to get started on making meaningful connections and lasting relationships, then apply to the coaching program by using the link in the show notes. All right, now it's time for the Reddit friendship advice question. If you have a friendship advice question that you think I should answer, tag me in it on Reddit. My handle is Brilliant and Resilient. That's Brilliant, the letter N, Resilient. So for this one, I went to social skills, Reddit social skills. And the topic is, why do people hate small talk? I enjoy small talk. I don't want to have deep conversations with every person I meet. I've been trying to meet people through Reddit, and it feels like people really hate small talk. I lean towards asking people, how are you doing? What have you been up to? Anything exciting you've done recently? And try to talk around that. I guess slowly build up the relationship, you know? I met a person recently who told me he doesn't see a friendship with me because he hates small talk after asking me deep, provoking questions every time we chatted, and I wasn't in the mood for it because I was busy with work or other things. You know, they're always responding in paragraphs as well. And that's the end. That's what they wrote. Okay. So, I'm at the stage where I wouldn't want to be a friend with you either because, of course, there's a communication style thing going on. You want more small talk, and they don't quite want small talk. They want to talk about deep, provoking things. they're always responding in paragraphs, though, like huge paragraphs. It's a different kind of communication when you're talking about things online. It's different. There's a different method to it when you're talking about things online. The communication style can be, months before they get back to you. Okay, that's a bit of exaggeration, and I wouldn't want to talk to somebody who takes months to get back to me, but it could be several hours, even a few days, especially on places like Reddit, where people just can't get back to you. And when they do get back to you, they share everything that they have. So they type a bunch of words and you get a bunch of sentences that lead to a giant brick of a wall paragraph, a giant, just huge message of all their thoughts and ideas. And you have to break that down and share it with them, or respond to them, or learn about them. And it can be exhausting. After like one or 2 days, boom, they talk to you and you're getting all this information from them, and it feels like it's a little too much. Maybe it's that 45-pound weight that they're throwing at you through the internet, through this giant wall of text, and it's uncomfortable. And if you're a small talk person who wants to do something a little lighter, then that's definitely going to be uncomfortable for you. And if you're a person who's throwing around those 45-pound weights, it's not going to be fun for you if somebody's not able to catch them, or not able to open up and share. It's like this equal exchange that happens, and we're looking for people to do that. But I definitely hijacked this and started talking about, from my own point of view, because I certainly want people that can handle this 45-pound weight. Now, I don't really just throw it out there randomly to people. I check with them through small talk. We have smaller, more engaging, interesting conversations. But like I said, there's something that needs to happen in between talking about the weather, how are you, what are you doing, what have you been up to talking about those things that are deeper and important, that have changed my life and impacted me some way. And so I like to be able to get to those places. And this person says that they don't want to get to those deeper places. Essentially, that's what I'm reading when why people hate small talk. They enjoy small talk. They enjoy not going deep. For me, who wants to create a more meaningful connection with others, and if you're listening to this podcast, perhaps you're a person who wants to do the same thing, is create a meaningful connection, is that small talk is just forgettable. Anybody could ask me about the weather, and we could laugh about the weather. Or we can look at things that are happening in the news. We can look at things that are happening around us on a global scale. We can point our fingers at celebrities and say, hey, they're not doing the righteous thing, or look at them, they're always wanting attention, or look at how much trouble they're in. We can do small gossipy talk with things like that. Small talk is essentially not allowing us to talk about ourselves. And when this person says, I enjoy small talk, fine for you. Enjoy the small talk. But I think that you are a person who wants to hide. I think that you are a person who doesn't want to talk about those deeper things about who you are, because perhaps you don't know them, or because perhaps you're afraid that you're going to be judged. Because it's a vulnerable place to talk about those deep, important things that have happened to you. And if you always want to talk about the surface level, I'm telling you, you're going to be very forgettable. You're going to be very forgettable. And you're going to wonder why people aren't interested in you. You're going to wonder why people don't call you or text you or hang out with you or think about you. That's because they don't know you. All they know is that you're going to talk about the weather. All they know is that you're going to ask them questions about who they are. You're going to ask me questions about who I am. And you're going to be like, great. And you're not going to contribute anything to you're not going to contribute anything to me. And I'm not going to think about you for anything. Nothing that's really important. I won't really know anything about you. And that's the caution that their small talk is safe. Essentially, you don't get rejected. So you enjoy small talk. What have you been up to? You ask these questions. What have you been up to? Well, how are you doing? Anything exciting you've done recently? I want to offer you, Reddit, something to share with other people. It's not just about you asking questions, but it's also about you opening up and sharing and connecting. Because I want to know more about you. I want to know about your experiences that have created the person that I'm talking to today. What did you do? What was fun and interesting and exciting? Did you go on family vacations? Did you not go on family vacations? Were you raised in a single parent household? 2-parent household? Did you have many siblings? Were you adopted? Were you really rich? Were you really poor? Those are the things that are going to impact who you are. And talking about those things aren't necessarily deep and traumatic. They don't have to be deep and traumatic things, but they have shaped your life in some way. And so moving from small talk, hey, this is the weather, to moving to, I grew up in a small town with a single parent, and this is how it shaped my life in some way. Or these are the fun things that I like to do. I like to go bowling. I like fishing. I like collecting coins. I like doing puzzles. I like board games. I like doing karaoke. And talking about something that's focused around you as a person rather than just something that's outside of you is the key. Maybe you don't know what it is that you want to talk about. If you'd like help with that, check out the link tree in the show notes. There's the Meaningful Connections workbook. It's absolutely free to download. 50 questions to help you understand more about yourself so that you can share with others. Redditor, thank you so much for asking your question. I know that you didn't ask me to answer it, but I did, and I hope that it helps. Best of luck to you. Take care. My name is Coach Lee Hopkins, and you have been listening to the Patterns of Possibility podcast. You can find me at patternsofpossibility.com and on all social media at Patterns of Possibility. And as always, I want to encourage you to be yourself, live your truth, and there you'll make lasting friendships.